Far from civilization, in the very heart of a mysterious and inaccessible region, an old abandoned volcano lies hidden. The local residents have long avoided it, believing it to be a cursed place where those who dared to come too close would disappear. This is how our expedition began, when a group of world-class scientists set out on a long journey to uncover the secret of the volcano, which had kept its silent history for centuries. The journey was not easy. Steep slopes, dense thickets, and constantly changing weather presented new challenges for the researchers. However, for a team eager for scientific discoveries, this only served as motivation to keep moving forward. As they approached the summit, the air grew increasingly thick with the smell of sulfur and the sky became shrouded in heavy clouds. The mood within the team was tense, but every step was filled with determination to find something extraordinary. On the third day of the journey, the group finally reached the ancient crater. It was here, among the lava deposits and the frozen traces of a great eruption, that they stumbled upon a strange, half-buried object. It was covered in centuries-old dust, yet its shape and texture were clearly different from the natural rocks. A gentle brush of the hand revealed hidden lines of drawings, and unusual symbols, never seen before, began to emerge on the surface of the stone. At that moment, none of the expedition members suspected that the artifact they had found could change scientific understanding of ancient civilizations and their contact with our world. The scientists had no idea that their discovery was only the beginning of this thrilling story, behind which lay not only answers but also incredible secrets of Earth's history. Mysterious symbols. The scientists' first impressions. When the first rays of sunlight illuminated the ancient artifact, the scientists saw something that immediately caught their attention. Strange symbols that seemed to come alive under their curious gaze. Their shapes and arrangement appeared completely alien, as if it were a language never before encountered in the known history of humankind. The scientists immediately began their study, hoping to find the key to the mystery. The team's ancient language specialists immediately noted the uniqueness of the symbols. Their arrangement and style resembled the scripts of long-lost civilizations. But none of the known forms of writing matched these enigmatic signs. The renowned linguist Dr. Richards, standing next to the discovery, ran his fingers along the curves of the symbols, trying to sense their power. He was certain that these were not just random drawings. Between the lines of the intricate script, one could sense something reminiscent of the rhythm of ancient rituals, and the artifact itself seemed to be a source of a strange energy that no one could explain. A group of photographers began documenting every detail, taking numerous pictures for further analysis. Every member of the expedition understood this discovery could become a true sensation in the scientific world. Soon, the entire team became immersed in intense discussions. Some speculated that these could be pictograms, possibly related to the lost language of some culture unknown to us. But the mysteries only multiplied. Suddenly, when one of the researchers accidentally spoke a few of the symbols aloud, the surrounding atmosphere changed, as if the very air had become thicker, filled with a crackling static charge. This triggered a continuous stream of questions for which there were still no answers. Sleepless nights lay ahead, devoted to research and attempts at deciphering. The scientists began to realize that deciphering the symbols could open the gates to new knowledge and perhaps draw them into an incredible journey through the pages of history that humanity still refuses to believe in. The mysteries of ancient languages. What do the symbols conceal? When scientists first laid eyes on the strange symbols of the ancient artifact, they felt as if they had encountered something that contradicted all the rules they had known until then. These mysterious signs didn't just look alien, they seemed to carry within them a story that no one had yet been able to decipher. The linguists on the team, such as Dr. Richards, were absolutely fascinated. They immediately noticed that the symbols were different from all known forms of writing. Every line, every curve on the artifact looked as if it was part of a single code that had long been lost. These weren't just symbols, they were something more, perhaps a language that hadn't been spoken for thousands of years. Heated debates broke out among the excited scientists. Some argued that the signs might have remained incomprehensible to humanity because they originated from a culture completely unknown to science. One hypothesis suggested that these could be pictograms belonging to the lost language of an ancient civilization whose traces had been erased by time and nature. But before the scientists could delve deeper into their study, something astonishing happened. One of the researchers, while trying to figure out the sounds these symbols might produce, accidentally pronounced a few of them out loud. At that moment, the air around them seemed to fill with energy, reminiscent of the crackle of static electricity. This instantly revived the discussions and made the scientists look at the discovery in a new light. Such an unusual event added new intrigue and mysteries. It seemed as if the artifact itself possessed some kind of power capable of affecting the surrounding world. Long hours of research, attempts at deciphering, and efforts to understand what secrets were hidden behind these ancient symbols lay ahead. Perhaps unraveling this language could change our understanding of the past and open the door to an unknown future. Drawings from the past. How did the artifact change after its discovery? When the ancient artifact finally fell into the hands of scientists, it appeared as a mysterious fragment of an unknown past. But the most astonishing thing happened after the first days of research had passed. The keen eyes of linguists noticed that the lines and symbols on its surface began to change slightly. It was as if they were coming to life under the light of flashlights and spotlights, gaining new brightness and depth. The scientists exchanged astonished glances, as if the artifact were trying to share its ancient story with them. One of the researchers, Dr. Richards, couldn't take his eyes off the artifact, watching as the symbols began to stand out even more against the stone surface. These signs seemed to whisper of bygone centuries, hidden wisdom, and secret knowledge. The process of transformation filled the team with genuine excitement and at the same time a sense of unease. But this was only the beginning. One of the student researchers, trying to capture the changes on the stone during a lab session, accidentally noticed that his touch on the surface intensified the glow of the symbols. Soon, everyone involved in studying the artifact began to notice it as well. As they interacted with the material, its patterns seemed to blossom under their hands, shifting in intensity and hue. Then, one evening, as the team continued their work in the lab, the artifact responded to another researcher's touch with a gentle shimmer that filled the space with a subtle, mysterious light. At that moment, everyone realized they were dealing with more than just an ancient object. This artifact possessed the power to awaken memories of a land unknown to humankind. Countless sleepless nights lay ahead, devoted to searches and research that could lead to truly sensational discoveries. Shadows from the past. Unexpected consequences of the deciphering. The artifact, which at first seemed to be just a mysterious object, began to reveal its unusual properties. After several symbols were accidentally spoken aloud, something unexpected happened in the laboratory. A field formed around the artifact, as if guarding an ancient secret. Within this field, something seemed to come alive, and the scientists noticed how the light began to flicker in a strange way. Dr. Richards, standing closest of all, felt a slight current pass through his body as he tried to touch the artifact. It was a real mystery, as if the stone was trying to interact with the world around it. The team of scientists now felt not only curiosity but also a sense of caution. Every action around the artifact now required heightened caution and attentiveness. Suddenly, one of the young researchers, deciding to repeat the sounds his colleagues had made earlier, triggered a resonance that everyone in the room could feel. It seemed that the artifact responded to these spoken symbols with its own vibrations, leaving no doubt that they were touching upon something much greater. All the scientists in the room felt the air around them grow heavier, and time itself seemed to slow down. The changes were not limited to just the atmosphere. One of the devices positioned near the artifact registered an extraordinary surge of energy, so powerful that its sensors failed. This event became a turning point for the entire team. Now they understood that what they had before them was not just an object of study, but something capable of affecting reality itself. It soon became clear this discovery could mark the beginning not only of scientific breakthroughs but also of dangerous consequences. Ancient prophecies, discoveries, and their significance. Among the many hypotheses put forward by the scientists, the most intriguing was the idea that the symbols on the artifact might be nothing other than ancient prophecies. After many hours of deciphering and analysis, the team noticed that some of the symbols seemed to describe events that might have happened in the distant past, or even in the future. Dr. Richards suggested that the artifact was not just a work of art, but something like a chronicle left behind by an ancient civilization. With each new discovery, the scientists began to see more in the artifact than just something mysterious. The growing sense that they had come into contact with something great continued to intensify. This find could change our understanding of ancient cultures, which may have possessed knowledge surpassing that of the present day. The combinations of symbols that had been deciphered turned out to be connected to natural phenomena such as star maps, which could indicate a high level of astronomical knowledge. But that was not all. In the course of further research, they discovered that some of the symbols resembled diagrams of natural disasters, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and even the movement of tectonic plates. This discovery both surprised and alarmed the team, as it suggested that the ancients possessed knowledge of how to foresee natural catastrophes. If these prophecies were accurate, it could explain why the civilization that created the artifact left it as a warning. Dr. Richards and his team understood that they had only scratched the surface and that there was still much more to discover. One thing was clear. The artifact resting in their hands contained extraordinary secrets that spoke the language of the past. This object promised not only to revolutionize scientific understanding of the ancients, but also to become the key to unraveling mysteries that humanity has yet to comprehend. Such an artifact could turn out to be one of the most significant discoveries, capable of forever changing our view of history. Time and fear. Lessons from ancient words. After the ancient artifact revealed its unique properties, the scientists found themselves on the verge of understanding not only the mysterious symbols, but also the influence these symbols had on reality. Each spoken word activated energetic vibrations that altered the perception of time and space. The scientists began to form hypotheses that the artifact contained keys to ancient knowledge that could redefine the very nature of time. With each day of research, the team came closer to solving the mystery. One night, at the moment when Dr. Richards uttered a series of symbols, a wave of energy swept through the laboratory. Invisible vibrations filled the space around them, as if the voice of antiquity itself had come alive at that moment. The researchers felt as though time itself had slowed, allowing them to experience a moment from the past with unprecedented clarity. Subsequent experiments showed that the artifact could influence the surrounding reality. This discovery shocked the team and made them reconsider their approach to research. They began to realize that their find was not just a piece of ancient art, but a tool through which one could interact with time. It turned out that the artifact was capable of reading the flows of time, responding to certain sounds and vibrations, which made it possible to manipulate time on a quantum level. After one particularly successful experiment, which caused bright light phenomena to appear in the laboratory, the scientists finally realized that the artifact could speak to them in the language of the past. But it was not just a message, it was an invitation to study history and use the knowledge hidden in the symbols to interpret ancient prophecies. With each day spent studying the artifact, it became clear that they had discovered something capable of changing not only the scientific understanding of our world, but also the very concept of time and its influence on humanity. The artifact that stood before them remained a mystery, but its lessons opened new horizons for all who dared to uncover its secrets.